What makes a perfect teacher?
Being enthusiastic.
A teacher that no matter how they feel about you, what you believe in or what you see about the things around you, they're still willing to teach you, and they're still willing to give effort towards you and help you become a better student.
Patient, thorough, passionate about their subject matter.
Not give much homework and have easy tests.
Somebody who teaches with the heart and teaches to his strengths. My name is Frank Navarro, and I teach history at Mountain View High School. I started 40 years ago when Mountain View High School was AWOL High. I'm currently teaching world history and economics, but in the past I've taught European History AP, a course called Facing History, and for a long period of time I taught American history during the summer. My focus has tended to be, it's difficult for me to say, but it really is the Shoah, also known as the Holocaust, and the universal lessons that one derives from the Holocaust.
Almost every day when you walk in Mr. Navarro's class, he'll just, he's always super friendly. He comes back. I had him after lunch, and so every day he would come back to class from the gym, because he always works out every day, right, in the school gym, and he's just super friendly, oh hey, how are you, whatever. And then we get into class, and he's like, you want to go boxing? I got my boxing gloves in my cabinet, and then his nickname is the History Hulk. That's his boxing name. So he would joke around about that, and then he would always try to play me in football. He'd be oh, let's go strap on the pads and let's go.
I love biking, and I shoot for between 80 and 100 miles a week. So I get home, I try to leave about 3, and I bike into the Coyote Hills and down to the Alameda Trail and out to Niles Canyon, which is roughly 14 miles. And I have a coffee shop in the town of Niles that I pull out a book, or I pull out my writing, and I'll take a half an hour break. In January 13, I had open heart surgery. And the cardiologist told me that my conditioning and exercise had saved my life. And so I keep it up. I enjoy it. It gives me a break. It gives me a time to think. My students have influenced me to be kinder and more understanding.
I would describe Mr. Navarro very passionate and inclusive to students, trying to get kids involved. But overall, he really cared about the material and history.
Well, yeah, I think, yeah, definitely he's been a positive impact, because he's been really passionate about history, and that passion has rubbed on me. So now I'm more passionate about history, and I like it more than I did before.
My dad, whenever there's a chance to say anything, give a history lesson, if it's standing in line at the grocery store or teaching me how to drive, he's always talking about history. And now, since this is so relevant, yes, it's the main conversation at any point that he can get it in there. So yes, it's there a lot.
There is a great deal of criticism when I compare Donald Trump to Adolf Hitler. But it wasn't an unusual lecture or discussion.
This is a situation where a teacher was called in to speak with her supervisor. For some reason, he told his students it was about him drawing a comparison of then-elect President Trump to Hitler, and he's a history teacher. That seems like that would be a normal thing to do, but that's not why he was called in to speak with his supervisors. I think the challenge I faced with this is that the headlines really don't speak to the truth. It's really hard to set the record straight after it's become reported in so many papers. most of which never bothered to call the district office to verify whether the story was true or not. It wasn't just one comment from one parent on that day. For several weeks leading up to the election, the district office had been receiving concerns from parents and students about some of the things that were being said in the class, some of the language being used. So it wasn't just a one-time circumstance where a thing was said, a parent called, and this happened. This was a pattern.
I think it is imperative for a history teacher, a Mandel Fellow, to be able to address this directly with my students. Otherwise, in a very real sense, if I didn't, I would be lying to them, and this I will not do. It is something to consider that they had so little regard for me that they had put me on leave for the flimsiest of reasons. And I say the flimsiest because if I had done something truly serious, I should be put on leave, and they should investigate it.
I think that teachers should be able to express their opinions because that's what people want us to do. So it should only be fair if they can do it too. But I don't think they should be able to sway our opinions by trying to persuade us in certain directions. They should just give us the materials to make the connections ourselves.
I think teachers should teach present, especially like history teachers, should teach present day politics in the classroom because we learn from the mistakes of our past, and present day politics still are affected by things that have happened in the past.
When use of language that's offensive to some, squashing other people's expression of their opinions, or if there's a difference in opinion, making sure that everyone feels safe to express it, even if it's not the popular opinion. I think that's part of creating that safe learning environment for everybody, not just the majority.
I think they should be allowed to teach present-day politics in the room because those are critical issues. And without free speech, we are truly hampered as teachers in doing our job. My limitations on free speech would be profanity or vulgarity. But beyond that, I think most things should be open to discussion. And I think we should be doing more talking to each other, not less. And maybe we could, at the worst, we could agree to disagree. And at the best, we could come to a greater understanding of each other.